Hey guys, welcome to our video. I'm Ads.
I'm Jonelle.
And today we're going to be talking about resistance training for individuals and groups. So, today I'm going to be talking about resistance training. Resistance training is also known as strength training or weight training, as it is a form of physical exercise that involves working your muscles against an external resistance. This resistance can come from weights, such as dumbbells or barbells, resistance bands, body weight, or resistance machines. The goal is to increase muscle strength, endurance, and size. I'm going to be talking about 5 benefits of improving resistance training. The first one is that it increases muscle strength and endurance. This means it helps perform daily tasks more easily and improves athletic performance. Another one is that it enhances metabolic rate. This means that muscle tissue burns more calories at rest than fat, boosting overall metabolism. Another one is that it improves bone density. This means that regular resistance training helps strengthen bones, reducing the risk of osteoporosis. Another benefit is that it improves better joint health and stability. This means strengthening the muscles around the joints. It can help prevent injury and improve mobility. And the last benefit is that it improves mental health. It can reduce symptoms of anxiety and depression or stress and boost confidence and self-esteem.
Hey guys, so I'll be teaching you how to use a medicine ball and its advantages and disadvantages. This is obviously a medicine ball. It comes in a variety of sizes, weights, and is usually used for beginners and rehabilitation. Medicine balls are very useful as they have, turn to the side please, it has a textured grip. So when holding it, it's easier to grip. Another example of an advantage of medicine balls themselves would be that they are very versatile, as you can use it for things such as slams, throws, or partner exercises. They also help with coordination as it engages multiple muscle groups turned to the sides. So when holding the medicine ball, you are engaging your biceps as you're holding it up and supporting all the weight in your arm. This does come with disadvantages, as anything does. For example, medicine balls, they are not adjustable. So you may find different weights, but there won't be the ones you exactly need. For example, here's a 5 kilogram one. The next one that you could find was 6 kilograms, but there was no 7, so there is some limitations into the weights that come with themselves. Another disadvantage would be that it is technique dependent, as improper form, especially with explosive movements such as slamming it, can lead to injury. I will be showing you an example of a workout you can do with the medicine ball with my wonderful assistant. So she'll be doing a simple squat, but with the medicine ball as a weight. So if you show me please, turn to the side. So as you can see, our hip width apart, and she's facing straight forward with no curvature or leaning forward. Pretty slowly. She goes down to the squat, so she's upright from here, legs at angle, come back up, nice and slowly.
The next equipment we are going to be using are free weights. Free weights are non-machine based equipment used for strength training. Common types including dumbbells, barbells, kettlebells, and weighted plates. These weights rely on users' ability to stabilize and control the movement, engaging multiple muscle groups. As mentioned before, there are many types of free weights that we can use, such as dumbbells, which are fixed or adjustable weights, barbells, which are long bars with adjustable weight plates, kettlebells, which are ball-shaped weights with handles, and weighted plates, which are usually used with barbells or independent exercise. Now I'm going to be talking about the benefits and the limitations of free weights. I have an assistant here who is currently holding dumbbells. The first benefit is that it can be used for a wide range of exercise targeting different muscle groups such as glutes, hamstrings, triceps, biceps, your core, abdominals. Another benefit is that the grip on the dumbbells are used so they can be supported. Make sure that you are holding it safely so it doesn't drop out of your hand. You also should be picking the weight which are suitable to you and knowing that it can benefit you in the set or workout you are going to be partaking in. The next thing I'm going to be talking about is limitations to using free weights such as dumbbells. One of the limitations is that if you have improper form, it can lead to injury, especially with heavier weights. Jonelle is currently holding a 2 kg dumbbell. If she would be able to hold other weights, such as heavier weights, but in this case, she does not have her arm brace on her elbow, which means that if she was putting any more pressure on it, it can cause very bad injury. Another limitation is that new users or beginners may need more guidance to use the free weight safely and effectively, which meaning that if Jonelle went ahead and picked up a heavier weight and not knowing how to properly do the exercise, then she could injure herself or it can injure her muscles. Now we are going to be performing an exercise. The exercise that I have chosen with Jonelle to perform is going to be bicep curls. Your arms are going to be straight out, just like Jonelle is showing. Your elbows are going to bend up. And you are going to slowly bring down the weight. Make sure you do not lock your elbows at the bottom. Again. Thank you. While using free weights, for example, beginners can use light dumbbells or kettlebells, as they can be used with guidance to develop strength and coordination. Free weights can be very beneficial for athletes, as it can be a useful sport-specific training and enhances their power and stability while partaking in their sport.
Resistance machines are really useful as they are a fixed gym equipment which are designed to specifically target certain muscle groups with providing controlled resistance. An example of these would be weight stacks, cables, or hydraulic systems. An example of one of these would be the machines I have behind me. An advantage of these would be that they have adjustable weight stacks, as you can change the resistance level by moving a pin or a dial. Another advantage would be that they have guided movements, as the machine follows a predetermined path, reducing the need for stabilization. There are a few benefits of using a resistance machine would be that there's high safety, because the guided range of movement reduces the risk of injury compared to free weights. They are also easier to use than free weights because there's either instructions or just something to help with beginners, as they come with diagrams as well. Some limitations of this would be that with the machines, they have limited functional training. This means that the machines themselves do not mimic anything in the real world or sport specific. So when using them, you have to apply that amount of strength into whatever you're doing. There's nothing that can simulate. Another example of a disadvantage would be that they have a lot of space requirements. So since the machines are usually quite bulky and they need a certain amount of space to be able to work, it may be suitable for home use or smaller gyms. This is an example of a resistance machine with my amazing helper. So, looking closely, there are images. This shows further how this can be beginner friendly, as it gives diagrams and shows exactly what muscles will be working out. For this example, we will be doing high row. My helper will now assume the first position shown on the diagram and start. So as you can see, my helper, she's not in the way of any weights as they're located over here. And the machine itself has multiple warning and instructions on how to properly use it.
The last exercise we are going to be doing are bodyweight exercises. Bodyweight exercises use the individual's body as a resistance to build strength, endurance, and flexibility. These exercises require minimal to no equipment and rely on movements that target multiple muscle groups. This can include push-ups, squats, planks, lunges, and burpees. Some of the features in bodyweight exercises are that no equipment is needed, so most exercises can be done anywhere, making them highly accessible. Another feature is that it is customizable intensity. This means adjustments like tempo changes, added repetitions, or modifications can increase and decrease difficulty. And the last feature is that functional movements mimic real-world activities, improving overall strength and mobility. The next thing I'm going to be talking about are the benefits and the limitations of bodyweight exercises. One of them is the accessibility. This means there is no need for equipment or a gym membership, making them suitable for all environments. Another one is functional fitness. This means it improves balance, coordination, and overall strength for engaging multiple muscle groups. Another one is that it is low cost, which means it is free to perform, requiring only space and knowledge of proper technique, which you can also get from a professional. However, we always have the limitations of bodyweight exercises. For example, one of them is progression challenges. Once basic exercises become too easy, progression may require advanced techniques or added resistance. Another limitation is that it is limited isolation. It means it is harder to isolate specific muscle groups compared to resistant machines or free weights. One last limitation is that it is overuse injuries. Repeating the same movement frequently can lead to overuse or strain, if not balanced with other exercises. So with my assistants here, Jonelle, today we are going to be performing a sit-up, which is one of the bodyweight exercises. As you can see, Jonelle has stably put her feet under this bench, and she is going to put her arms across her chest, for which a beginner would be doing when they are performing a sit-up. So when you go all the way down, make sure you are not going to the floor and back up. If you are advanced, you will put your arms behind your head, making sure you're not going all the way down to the floor, engaging your core. The group I'm going to be talking about now is HIIT. This stands for High Intensity Interval Training. These classes are structured around alternating short bursts of intense activity with periods of rest or lower intense exercises. They can involve various styles, formats, and equipment. One of the classes I'm going to be talking about are circuit-style HIIT classes. These are where participants rotate throughout multiple stations, each focusing on a specific exercise. The stations may use an equipment such as dumbbells, kettlebells, battle ropes, resistance bands, or body weight. For example, at battle ropes, it can be for power and endurance. Kettlebell swings can be for explosive strength and cardiovascular fitness, and burpees or jump squats can be bodyweight exercises for intensity. However, there are benefits and limitations. One of the benefits is that it can be tailored to different fitness levels. Another benefit is that it is a full body workout, which means it engages multiple muscle groups and systems. And the last benefit is that it is time efficiency, which means it delivers a comprehensive workout in a short period of amount of time. However, the limitations is that it is equipment access, which means it might require a variety of equipment or space. And another limitation is that it is form monitoring, meaning that it can be difficult for instructors to ensure proper technique at each station.
CrossFit is a high-intensity fitness program combining elements of strength training, cardio, gymnastics, and functional movements. Following the format of warm-up, skill or strength training, the WOD or workout of the day, and then a cool-down. Some benefits would be that they help with strength development as it helps build functional and absolute strength. A benefit of this would be that it is scalable as the weight can be adjusted for all fitness levels, whether you are a beginner or you are an elite athlete. However, there are also limitations such as the risk of injury. As with anything, incorrect form or excessive weight can lead to injuries, and that it is also very time sensitive as strength gains require consistent and long-term training.
The next class I'm going to be talking about is Body Pump. Body Pump is a barbell-based group fitness class that focuses on resistance training to improve strength, endurance, and muscle tone. Created by Les Mills, it combines music-driven choreography with repeated lifting movements for a full body workout. One of the classes is a standard body pump class, the most common format, targeting all major muscle groups throughout a series of track songs. Each track focuses on a muscle group, for example, squats, chest, backs, or biceps. Lastly, I'm going to talk about the benefits and the limitations of Body Pump. Body Pump is a good class because it is a full body workout. It means it hits all the major muscle groups in a single session. It's endurance focused, which means it improves muscular endurance throughout high repetitions, and it has very good motivation, meaning that the music and the choreography enhances engagement and energy. The limitations, however, is that the repetitive movement may lead to overuse injuries if not balanced with other forms of exercises. And another limitation is that it is strength limits, so it does not build maximal strength due to the lower weight loads.
Circuit training is a group format where participants move between different exercise stations. Each station focuses on a specific muscle group or groups, movement patterns, or fitness goals. This can come with many benefits and limitations. However, some of its features are as follows. An example of a circuit would be a strength-focused circuit class. This is the type of class which focuses on building muscle strength and endurance. Participants alternate between resistance-based exercises between targeting different muscle groups. Common equipment which would be seen in said circuit would be dumbbells or kettlebells, barbells, resistance bands, and medicine balls. A benefit of this would be that strength development builds muscle and endurance whilst also toning the body, and it is also very customizable as adjusting the weights as you are able to adjust the weights to cater to different fitness levels. However, some disadvantages may be that there is a very time-sensitive setup which requires a variety of equipment. If you don't have that equipment, you may not be able to complete this circuit completely or correctly. Another limitation would be that it's very technique dependent, as improper form can cause a high increase of injury risk.
Next thing I'm going to be talking about is different methods of resistance training for individuals. First one is going to be single sets. Single set training involves performing one set of specific exercises per muscle group or movement pattern, typically until muscular fatigue. This method is straightforward and commonly used in the beginner and time-efficient training programs. Next, I'm going to be talking about the advantages and disadvantages. One of the advantages is that it's time efficient. This means it is perfect for individuals with limited time, as it reduces the total workout duration compared to multi-set routines. Another advantage is that it is simple to follow. It's ideal for beginners or those new to resistance training due to its straightforward structure. Another advantage is that it reduces risk of overtraining. This means with fewer sets, the total training volume is lower, reducing the chance of overuse injuries or excessive fatigue. The disadvantages of single sets training is that it is limited progression. This means it may not be as effective for building maximum strength, muscle hypertrophy, or endurance as multi-set programs. Another disadvantage is that it is minimal volume. The volume might not be enough to significantly challenge advanced exercises or athletes. The last disadvantage is that it's less comprehensive. This means it doesn't allow for focus improvements in specific areas such as muscular endurance or power. The groups that are best suited for single sets training are beginners. For beginners, single sets are very simple, easy to follow, and help them focus on learning correct form and moving patterns without overloading.
Tricep training involves in performing 3 exercises targeting the same muscle groups or different muscle groups in a sequence with minimal rest between them. This method is commonly used in muscle growth, muscle endurance, and time-efficient workouts. An advantage of tricep training is that it is very time efficient, as it combines 3 exercises into one sequence, reducing overall workout time whilst maintaining the intensity. It also promotes muscle growth, as the sustained stress on the muscle group enhances muscle fibers and encourages growth. Another example of an advantage would be that it increases muscle endurance, as performing these exercises back to back challenges the muscle stamina and overall cardiovascular endurance. A disadvantage of tricep training would be that it's physically demanding, as the high intensity and minimal rest can be overwhelming for beginners or those with lower fitness levels. Another disadvantage would be form deterioration, as fatigue can cause your form to slowly be compromised in the sense that you can't hold it anymore, which can increase the risk of injury. So in my opinion, I believe that the people who are best suited for tricep training would be intermediate to advanced lifters. Experience and expertise in resistance training can mean that they can handle high volume and high intensity effectively, and also for those who have weight loss goals, as obviously the increased caloric burn and intensity of the triceps are very effective for those who are aiming to reduce body fat.
The next method I'm going to be talking about are negative reps. Negative reps training focuses on the eccentric, which is the lowering phase of the movement where the muscle lengthens under tension. This method emphasizes the controlling of the weight, often with assistance during the concentric, which is the lifting phase. Negative reps are particularly effective for building strength and muscle. Next, I'm going to talk about the advantages of negative reps. One of the advantages that is increased strength gains. This means that the eccentric phase allows muscles to handle more weight than the concentric phase, leading to greater strength improvements. Another advantage that it promotes muscle growth, meaning that the eccentric training causes more muscle fiber damage, leading to enhanced hypertrophy when coupled with proper recovery. The last advantage I'm going to talk about is that it improves control and stability. Focusing on the lower phase improves neuromuscular coordination and control, reducing the risk of injury. Lastly, we have the disadvantages of negative reps. One of the disadvantages is that there is a high risk of overtraining. The intensity of the eccentric movements can lead to delayed onset muscle soreness and longer recovery times. Another disadvantage is that it requires a spotter or assistance, meaning that the negative reps often require a training partner or an assistant or a machine assistant, which can be inconvenient at some places. The last is that is not suitable for beginners at all. The intensity and the technique required makes this method challenging for those who are new to resistance training. The group that negative reps are best suited for are experienced lifters. The advanced individuals looking to break through strength or hypertrophy can benefit greatly from added intensity of negative reps. The last thing we are going to be talking about in our video is methods of training for group resistance training. I'm going to be talking about HIIT, which is high intensity interval training. Group resistance training combines resistance exercises with high intensity intervals to build strength and improve cardiovascular endurance. The first one I'm going to talk about is circuit training based HIIT. Participants rotate between resistance stations performing exercises like squats, push-ups and rows. Each station focuses on specific muscle groups performed for a set time, such as 40 seconds with short rest periods, which are 20 seconds between each exercise. The advantages and disadvantages are that the advantage is that it's a full body engagement, which covers multiple muscle groups in one session. It is time efficient, meaning it combines resistance and cardio in a single workout, and it is a variety, keeping participants engaged with diverse exercises and keeping them motivated. However, the disadvantages is that it is high in equipment dependency, meaning that it requires multiple stations and varied equipment, which may be limited in some settings. Another disadvantage is that it is risk of improper form, which means that fast transitions can lead to poor technique, especially for beginners. And our last disadvantage is that it requires recovery challenges, meaning that minimal rest periods can cause excessive fatigue or less conditioned individuals.
As you already know, circuit training involves the participants performing in a sequence of exercises targeting different muscle groups or components. However, I will be talking about the methods of training for group resistance training in circuits. An advantage of this, an example would be station-based circuit training. This is when participants move through several stations, each with a specific resistance exercise such as squats or push-ups. Each exercise is performed for a set amount of time or repetitions before moving on to the next station. An advantage of this would be that it has a lot of variety, as keeping participants engaged with the diverse exercises allows them to get the greatest amount of exercise possible. It is also a very social environment, so encouragement from each other in the group or the teacher is able to occur due to the high amount of interaction and motivation in the group itself. However, there are always disadvantages. A disadvantage of this would be that there is a high level of equipment dependency, as it is required for multiple stations to have a varied amount of equipment, which can be challenging for busy gyms, as if there's a lot of people in the gym itself, the equipment might need to be used by others, so it may not be able to occur. Another disadvantage would be that there is a very short amount of transition time. So when moving from exercise to exercise, there's always the risk of, when moving, it will reduce the overall intensity. So the exercise may have less of an effect than it should. This is best suited for beginners, as it provides structure for progression, and also for those who may have general fitness goals, as it targets strength, endurance, and overall fitness.
The last method of training for group resistance training I'm going to talk about is body pump. Body pump is a barbell-based group fitness class designed to build strength, endurance, and improve muscular definition through high repetition of resistance training. I'm going to be talking about key methods used in body pump, along with their advantages and disadvantages, and the suitability for different individuals. The first training I'm going to talk about is called high repetition, low weight. This is that participants use lighter weights with barbells or dumbbells while performing high repetition sets of exercises like squats, lunges, and presses, typically to listen to music. The advantages is that it improves muscular endurance, meaning it also improves stamina by targeting slow twitch muscle fibers. Another advantage is that it is low injury risk, meaning that the lighter weights reduce strain on joints and tendons. Last advantage is that it is accessible to beginners, meaning that it is easy to learn and adapt, making it inclusive for various fitness levels. The disadvantages is that it is limited strength gains, meaning that it is not suitable for those who are focusing on maximum strength or power. Another disadvantage is that it is time consuming, meaning that the extended sets may feel repetitive for some participants, which can start to lose motivation and be bored. The last disadvantage is that it is fatigue management. This means that the high reps can lead to form breakdown if participants are not conditioned. This is best suited for beginners or weight loss seekers. As for beginners, it provides a low barrier entry into resistance training, and for weight loss seekers, it is effective for burning calories and toning muscles.
Thank you for watching our video on resistance training. Hope you enjoyed.